The weekly for setting out Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, or at least trying to, was a second piece of legislation Ranieri and Wall Street wanted. Under the existing tax laws, it was quite possible that the cash flows from the debt securities could be subject to double taxation. In 1983, the Internal Revenue Service actually changed Acer's Mortgage Securities Corporation deal over this ground, sending shudders of fear thought investors. So the investors of mortgage-backed securities also wanted a bid that would lay out a specific roadmap for creating securities that would be taxed twice. Rainieri was emphatic. He thought this would be a very powerful tool, and while he never come out and said it should be given to the his testimony makes it clear that's what he thought. If you do not give into them, you have the potential to have the private sector outprice the agencies. He told Congress, do you wish to use this structure as a method to curtail the power of the agencies? The Wrangell Treasurer agreed. The administration insisted that it would not support any legislation that permitted the government-related agencies to participate directly or indirectly in this new market. As a Treasury official testified, this bill, the official continued, should be viewed as a first step toward privatization of the secondary mortgage market. It was directly symptomatic of another problem that existed later. Maxwell says note, as we become bigger and had a bigger, probably everybody got scared. Says Law Neville's Ranieri's former lobbyist. Fannie saw their ultimate trivialization if the bill passed and they couldn't be issuers. Fannie, in other words, felt it was fitting for its very survival, but Wall Street was fitting for something that to it was just as important money as with new products. The profit margins were in Italy at very high, up to 1%, cite Nervin's meaning, for example, the Mayon for assembling a 1 billion mortgage-backed security. The feeling on Wall Street, according to Nevins, was that this is a gravy train, a gold mine, and we're not sure how long it is going to last. But if funny can be a issue, the gold is going to dry up quickly. And yet, ironically, to get a bill passed that took care of the double taxation problem, um, Ranieri needed Maxwell's support. Maxwell wanted the legislation passed to the double taxation problem was simply to threaten to the potentiality lucrative new market. realizing they needed each other. Rainieri and Maxwell put aside their differences and worked together to push the thing through Congress. To this day, thought there is disagreement over who did the heavy lifting. We had the prime power and did most of the work on the Hill. Rainieri recalls. Melanie says that's funny. The Leons just shares of the work, pushing the bill through Congress in 1986. After a number of fits and starts, Congress finally passed the second bill as part of the Tax Reform Act of 1960. It was known as the REMIC law, referring to the real estate mortgage investment conduct, which became the shorthand phrase for deals in which mortgage-backed securities were carved into tranches. In essence, the law created a straightforward process for issuing multi-class securities and avoiding double taxation. Needless to say, it did not specifically prevent Fannie and Freddie from doing remake deals, had any more insist on that. Maxwell would surely have fought instead of making the bill. Sure enough, the new market exploded in December. Fannie did its first remake offering that year, according to the New York Times. The mortgage-backed securities market totaled more than underwriting fees were estimated at more than $1 billion, and mortgage specialists were convinced remix would dominate the secondary market. It became the way mortgages were funded in the United States. Nevins explains almost as quickly warfare broke out between Fannie Mae and Wall Street. We worked hand in glove with the New York boys, and then they turned and tried to screw us. Government Melanie Fannie Mae found back with a display of bare knuckled politics and public threats that if it didn't get its way, the cost of homeownership would certainly rise, an attitude that would characterize its approach to its critics for much of the next 2 decades. The battle was joined in the spring of 1997 when five investment banks, Salomon Brothers, First Boston, Merrill Lynch, Goldman Sachs, and Sergent Lehman, banded together in an effort to persuade the government to bear from the newest and one of the most lucrative mortgage underwriting markets. Has the New York Times put it, the way Maxwell and Rainieri had dealt with the use of whether Fannie should be allowed to issue remake securities prior to the passage of the law was by kicking the can. Fannie and Freddie were granted the ability to issue remix securities, but only temporarily. Hud was charged with the task of granting or denying Fannie Mae permanent approval, while the Federal Home Loan Bank Board had to make the same decision for Freddie Mac, the investment banks filed a 100-page brief with Hot Secretary Samuel Prayers, arguing that it gave Fannie Remick authority. They would use their ability to borrow at lower costs to undercut the private sector. Custom Bartanian, the labour hired by the investment banks to praise their cause, told the New York Times. The head of research at the United States Language of Saving Instructions, the lobbying organization for the SNL, told the Times that it cost Solomon 2.5 times what it cost Fannie to issue a remake Halloween Fannie to ensure the securities. This complaint will force the private market out. Fannie it